Now for our story. One of the qualities Aunt Mary admired in her son was his capacity to keep himself on an even keel. Randy seldom allowed himself to be jolted off his mental equilibrium. And lately, the young man had ample reason for being disturbed in his mind. During Kitt Calvert's mental illness, Aunt Mary's son had become closely involved with the young woman. He'd been able to help her a great deal, and as she recovered, Kitt's childlike dependence on him had developed into a woman's mature love. Then, Kitt had been sentenced to prison on a charge of perjury. But before she'd been sentenced, Randy had given her a promise that he would keep himself uncommitted, his life free, until she returned. Today, in a characteristic effort to forget his problems through hard work, Randy plunged into the business of finding an office for his new business venture. Now he is standing thoughtfully in a bare room on the second floor of the Porter building in Wakefield when he hears...
Randy!
Oh, hello, Lily. Come on in.
Okay.
Sorry, I can't offer you a chair. How about the windowsill?
Oh, well.
Wait a minute, I'll dust it off for you. There you are, my lady.
Oh, this is fine.
By the way, how'd you know I was up here?
I saw Peggy at the drugstore. She told me you were office hunting, so I thought I'd come up and kid it. Hope you don't mind.
I should say I don't.
Peggy said you were on the verge of becoming a business tycoon. Sounds great, Randy. Provided you don't get claustrophobia being caged inside of four walls.
No, I've got that problem licked already. You see, with Peggy looking after the office, I won't be here all the time.
You can be out telling people the Three Falls Bridge.
Afraid I wouldn't have much luck at that. People who think the average farmer is gullible are just plain nuts.
I think you're right. I bet if anyone ever did fall for that Brooklyn Bridge routine, it was some smart Alex City fellow out to make his fortune on a shoestring.
Well, anyway, I'll be out scouting around a lot of the time, so I won't have time to get cabin fever. What do you think of this setup, Lily?
Looks pretty good. Of course, it isn't exactly palatial.
No, but I've looked all over town. This office is about the best there is available. And after all, we won't need a lot of space at first.
I guess not. Later, when you start expanding, you can take over Ben Calvert's place.
I don't think I wouldn't love to if I had the chance.
Well, maybe you can eventually. Of course, since you and Ben's daughter have gotten to be, well, such good friends, maybe you wouldn't want to compete with her dad.
Well, why do you make a crack like that? Why should my interest in Kitt have anything to do with my feeling for Ben?
Well, you don't exactly like the guy, do you?
Well, answer that yourself. You know how I feel about him.
Yeah, I believe you mentioned a couple of times how you think he gave Kitt a raw deal when she was a kid.
That's putting it mildly.
You still think Calvert was responsible for all the trouble Kitt got into? I mean, the perjury business and so on?
Primarily he was, yes.
Well, if that's the case, it's too bad they didn't throw him into the pokey instead of Kitt.
Believe me, Lily, Ben's the one who's guilty.
Still, I guess it would be kind of hard to put that idea across in court. I mean, the idea that Kitt wasn't at all responsible.
Of course he was responsible. I just mean that Ben's at the root of all her trouble.
Well, 3 years is a heck of a lot to pay for having a bum father.
Yeah. I'd hate to think she might have to stay there the whole time.
You mean there's a chance she might get out sooner?
Oh, yes. The sentence was for 1 to 3 years. That means they could release her in less than a year, when and if she comes up for parole.
Oh. In that case, I'd say it was a very light sentence.
Any length of time a person has to spend in prison is a long time, it seems to me. Especially for a girl like Kitt. She's still none too well. Her nerves are pretty raw. And then, when you think of what she's been accustomed to all her life...
Yeah. I'm afraid she's not going to like the type of interior decoration she'll find at the ladies' prison. I've seen pictures.
So have I.
Oh, well, Randy, don't take it so hard. They do keep it clean. But I believe the gals have to do their own work. I don't imagine Kitt knows much about that sort of thing.
I guess not. She's never had to learn.
Still, she was married to Bill Meade. She must have learned something about the practical side of life. That is, unless Bill did all the housework for her.
Well, that's not the part of it that worries me anyway. It's the thought of her not having anyone to talk to, of her being shut up there and...
Oh, I don't know, Randy. So far as having anyone to talk to, she oughtn't to be bored. I should think a person might meet up with some very interesting characters. Maybe she can write a book about her experiences when she comes out.
You seem to think it's all a big joke, Lily.
No, I don't, Randy. I was just trying to keep things light and cheerful. I didn't realize you were taking it so much to heart. It really hit you, didn't it?
Yep.
I suppose that's to be expected. All the time you spent at the sanitarium, I imagine you must have become, well, quite attached to her.
Uh-huh. Well, what's there to laugh about?
Oh, I was just thinking about Kitt. All the things I've heard about her. Tell me, Randy.
Lily, let's skip it, shall we?
Oh, sure, Randy. I didn't mean to walk on tender ground.
Guess I'm extra jumpy today.
I'll try to watch my step hereafter. Oh, about the office, Randy, I was going to say, if you need any help getting it fixed up, I'll be glad to offer my services for what they're worth.
That's swell of you.
Hey, why don't I make the draperies?
Thanks, but Peggy's already volunteered for that job.
Well, then, how about pictures? Got to have something on all these blank walls, you know.
Well, I plan to bring my seascapes from home. I've got a lot of pictures of ships and stuff. They ought to look pretty good.
Oh, sure.
Thanks just the same.
Well, if you think of anything I can do, be sure and let me know.
I will.
I'm sure it's going to look nice. The business will probably be a great success.
Thanks. I hope so.
Well, I guess I better run along.
Okay, Lily.
Be seeing you.
Yeah.
Hi, Lily.
Hello, Peggy.
You're not leaving already.
Well, yes.
But you can't. I brought an extra sandwich for you and coffee and everything.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Sorry, nothing. You turn right around and march back to the Lane Realty Company office.
Is that what you're going to call it?
Oh, I don't know. I just made it up on the spur of the moment. Come on, Lily. Randy's probably starved. You know how cranky he gets.
He probably bit your head off already. Well, he wasn't in a very cheerful mood.
Come to think of it, you're not acting very happy yourself. What's the matter?
Oh, I'll survive.
Lily, something's wrong.
Don't worry about it.
But you act so funny.
Oh, I'm funny, all right. I'm a riot.
Well, I don't know what's the matter, but you're going to come up and tell us about it, whatever it is. Or did you tell Randy already?
No, I didn't tell him anything.
Then you should have. He's a mighty handy guy with a problem. I know.
Maybe for someone else. Not me.
Oh?
Maybe for Kitt Calvert.
Kitt? Lily, what makes you mention Kitt?
Because Randy's carrying the torch for her.
What? Oh, Lily, for heaven's sake, you aren't still harping on that.
That's true, Peggy.
I don't believe it. I was a little worried several weeks ago, I'll admit. But Aunt Mary thought I was wrong, and so did Lefty. Between the two of them, they made me feel pretty silly.
Then I'm afraid Aunt Mary and Lefty are just indulging in some nice wishful thinking. The trouble is, you were right the first time.
But he can't be. Randy wouldn't fall for Kitt.
Look, Sugar, I know that cousin of yours a lot better than even he realizes. I'm telling you, he's all tied up in knots over Kitt. I've just been listening to him talk about her. The heartache blues surround him like a halo. I'm not just guessing, Peggy. I got ways of knowing I'm right.
Oh, Lily.
Well, you might as well get used to it. Last time we discussed Kitt, I wasn't absolutely sure, but I certainly am now. Randy's in love with her, Peggy. That's all there is to it.
Troubled, Randy's cousin continued up the stairs, and Lily returned slowly to her hotel. Now, Lily told herself unhappily, there was no doubt about Randy's attachment to Kitt. But I wonder if you're right, Lily. I wonder if Randy himself has made up his mind as to his true feeling for Ben Calvert's daughter.